Let's catch up with some Spurs news and then bring in our guest, French Spurs beat writer Vincent Pialat, as he gives us the pulse of the French fan base.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back, and you guys are the everydayers making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Keep on doing that. Subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts, such as YouTube, Ken's 5 Plus app, iTunes, Spotify. The list goes on and on. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at some quick Spurs news. You know, what were the vibes to end the season from the Spurs? Plenty of post-season, I guess now, post-season conferences with the media. And then bring in our guest. He's a Spurs French beat writer. He works for La Parisien. I think I said that right. Sorry, Vincent, if I said it incorrectly. His name is Vincent Pialat. He's going to give us what the French fans were thinking and are thinking about as Victor Wembanyama closed his rookie season. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. I got to admit it, I have a competitive side and I'm a big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on the classic Monopoly game. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go right now on the App Store or Google Play. All right, so the Spurs season is officially over. Off season is here, and it's just starting. But there is a couple of Spurs news for those of y'all who still want to keep up with the latest with Keldon Johnson. Excuse me. He's going to be hosting several, I think about a couple basketball camps for young athletes in San Antonio and the Valley, I believe in Laredo. I got a chance to talk to him about that when the season was over. And so he's really glad about being able to provide that for the community. So keep an eye on that for dates and times. Other Spurs news. I think we all know Wemby will be heading to France shortly. He did say to French media that he will spend some time, about a couple of weeks in San Antonio before he leaves to France. He did say that he was a bit upset that he's going to be in France just for a little while. He misses home, but we all know it's the French Olympics, 2024 Summer Olympics. So he'll be out there. So, also Spurs news. Jeremy Sohan is hoping that Team Poland will be strong enough to get into the playoff. I'm sorry, the Olympics, and continue, bringing this Polish basketball to the forefront. So they do have to do some qualifying events. But other than that, he's hoping to play against Wemby. And he told media that if he has a chance to try to dunk on Wemby, he will go for it, even though he knows Wemby is good at blocking shots. In other Spurs news, or should I say Wemby news, congratulations to Mr. Wembanyama. He ranks among the top 5 viewed or most viewed plays and among the top 10 most viewed players at the end of the regular season on NBA social and digital media platforms. The NBA announced that yesterday. So of the top 5 most viewed plays, Wemby's dunk versus Boston, Derek White, remember that one? That finished second among the top 5 most viewed plays with 247 million views. And then he also ranks among the top 10 most viewed players. He ranks number 3 at 1.3 billion views, behind number 1, LeBron James, Steph Curry, number 2, and then Wemby. So he is taking the NBA by storm. And, dare I say he could be the face of the league, like as of next year. We'll see if his trajectory is climbing up there. And speaking of end of the season, I had a chance to be in the conference sessions with several players, from Wemby to Keldon Johnson to Sohan to Devin. The list goes on and on. All of them feel very confident the way the team ended the season. They won 4 of their last 6 games, took Philadelphia to double overtime, beat the defending champs, Denver Nuggets. This is baffling. This is a pretty cool stat here. I pulled it up for you guys. But did you know that to wrap up the season? So we're going to go from the sample size would be from March to the close of the season. The Spurs were actually one of the best teams in several statistical categories. So, for example, post All-Star break, okay, the team's defensive rating went to a 111.8. Before the All-Star break, they were at 117.5. So their defense got way better. And then finally, again, from that March to the end of the regular season, that time frame, about 2 months, Spurs ranked first in rebounds at 46.8, second in assists at 30.3, first in blocks, thanks Wemby, 6.7, and 11th in fast break points at 16 per game. So, yeah, there were definitely some strides made by the Spurs. So, I actually spoke to Trey Jones in depth about that. That's should be available right now on kensfi.com/Spurs. Go check it out. All right, there's your quick Spurs news and notes. Coming up next, we have our guest, French Spurs writer for La Parisien, Vincent Pialat. Now, just a heads up, he can only do audio interview only. So after this, just be audio only. But nevertheless, he gives us insight into what were French fans thinking about Wemby's season. He also chimed in whether or not he felt that the Spurs perhaps threw away Wemby's rookie season. So much more. It's a really good, chat with him, and we really get inside the pulse of the French fan base. That's next right here on Locked On Spurs. Hey, I want to talk to you about BetterHelp. This show episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, we all need some help from time to time, whether we got to get things off our chest or keep on doing things that we're doing right and want to continue that path. That's where BetterHelp comes in. Look, this is your way to become being your better self, your best self, and BetterHelp can help you get there. Look, if you want to give online therapy a try, go to betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA and get on that path to being your better self. Look, I know the Spurs season didn't play off berth or play in berth or, just another bad record season wise. But look, there's some things that are bigger than sports, outside of the Frost Center. Perhaps you need help, accomplishing goals, or maybe you're coming up short on goals. Maybe there's something bothering you. It's good to have somebody who's unbiased in your life, and that's where BetterHelp comes in. They'll be able to help you through all of life's ups and downs. Therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger problems than just the Spurs. And it's important to get things off your chest every once in a while. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, suited to your schedule. Visit betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA right now. Get yourself 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from the San Antonio Spurs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And look in this case, here who is back, Vincent Pialat from La Parisien. Vincent, you were kind enough to take some time out to start the season with me, to brace Spurs fans. What to expect from Wemby. Season's over. Here we are. Wemby's rookie season's done. Before we dive into what the fans in France are talking about, are you surprised at anything about Wemby now that his rookie season is over? What can you tell us?
Yeah, we just finished a press conference with him, and he said, I didn't reach my expectation, but for me, I mean, it is beyond the expectation we had on him. The year has been incredible. He's leading the league in blocks. Mm-hmm. He is leading rookies in most all the categories, and the number of highlights, the number of games he has a huge impact on. Mm-hmm. For me, yeah, that was insane, because before the season we were like, is he gonna make it? Is it true? Is it that good? And after 6 months of competition, we have to say yes. Yeah. Yes, he's gonna be one of the greatest already. Yeah.
He talked about how he felt he didn't live up to his personal expectations. What about the French people that were watching him develop the entire year? What were they saying about his development? Were there any frustrations about his for him a slow start? Were there any maybe people upset with Popovich maybe not paying him more? What were French people saying?
Yeah, exactly. There is a little bit of all of this. Some people, they were doubting about him. They were cautious at the beginning, trying to wait to see the results. And the more and more the season, goes on, and the more and more people are like, okay, that's insane. Even, some people I know, they didn't really like the hype around Wemby at the beginning, and now they're like, okay, I get it now. I understand. He is that good. He is that good, yeah.
You had a very fun tweet or post on X. We got to talk about it.
You were telling me too, like he goes, you were like, I don't think Spurs fans are gonna see what I'm saying about this thing, but you felt that maybe this team that has Wemby may have wasted his rookie season. Do you strongly feel about that? And do maybe French fans that were watching abroad feel the same way?
It's more. I'm more wondering about the beginning. And today, Greg Popovich said quite the same thing. When we asked the question about the season, he said, "Yeah, we tried for like 20 games at the beginning, something maybe, and we can understand." Like even him acknowledged that this beginning of the season was, it was trying, but not very convincing. And for example, Sohan being a point guard, we know now.
Didn't work.
So maybe it's gonna help him to develop his game, and maybe he did. But for the entire team, like and my tweet was about they made a choice. They made a choice to bet on Wemby, of course, but also Sohan and Vassell. And my only question is, for Wemby, it's sure. I mean, he's gonna be one of the best. For Jeremy and Devin, like we don't know. There is still a point mark, a question mark. Yeah.
We're talking with Vincent Pialat. He is with Le Parisien and a fellow New Yorker. Yeah, I miss New York. Vincent, Wemby rookie season is over, but his playing is not over. There's Team France. Do you feel a little concerned about perhaps a lot of wear and tear on him, a lot of minutes on him before he even starts his next season, his sophomore year, second season?
You mean like playing the Olympics before the next season? Yeah, I mean, Olympics in France will be huge. It's on a short period of time. It's only 2 weeks, but still, a lot of pressure, a lot of people around and expectations, and a lot of that will be on the shoulders of Victor. So it's not only the games he's gonna play. It's more the nervous breakdown maybe after that. We hear so many athletes, they plan to have some kind of a long cut after the Olympics because it's such a huge moment, and they when they finish, they tire. Like, for example, this weekend in San Antonio, there was this swimming competition with Léon Marchand, who was one of the best swimmer already in the world. He beat the record for Michael Phelps already. He's French, and I asked a question to him, and he's like, "Yeah, after the Olympics, I'm gonna, like stay away from the competition for a while." And for Victor, it won't happen because NBA will start. So maybe just after the Olympics it will be okay. But maybe there will be a time during the season, 2 months, where we have to expect maybe some low performances. Yeah.
During, or at least to start the season, there was a lot of talk how Wemby's teammates couldn't find him. He's 7'5", but they're not giving him the ball, not passing him the ball. Were fans in France talking about that? Were they upset with that as well?
Yeah, a lot. Not really upset, but they're like, give him the ball. I mean, don't take the shoot if Victor is under the paint and can take the ball. The truth is, I think it was kind of unfair to the teammates because they kind of try, and Victor at the beginning, it didn't find the right spot, right, to be in. So that was a little bit, his responsibility to not be on the good position, and also you have teammates, and you have to shine too, right? Devin Vassell is gonna have a big contract next year, and he has to show that he can make shots, right? So it was a little bit unfair, but I can understand that. Like you have a 7.3 or 4 guy,
7'5",
so
7'4",
easy. You just throw the ball, and he has to catch it and to score.
With French fans, first of all, every time you come on the show, a lot of French fans say, Vincent doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't represent the fan base. Were you expecting that kind of pushback on your opinions about Wemby to start this season? And in a way, you kind of been right ultimately, when they were saying, oh, you don't know, but you turned out to be right.
Yeah, you talk about the haters, right?
Yeah, the haters.
Yeah, I mean, friends will love to criticize, right? Yeah. And they can pretend they're not criticizing, but I mean, you just have to read the comments under the articles. Yeah. And a lot of them, they criticizing Wemby. For example, they're gonna beat Memphis. They're gonna Memphis has all these injured players. He's going to score 25 points, and people will say, yeah, 25 for 7.3, 7 feet 3. Like, it's nothing, right? Always trying to find reasons.
Yeah.
Of course there is reasons, but what he does is just incredible. And doesn't stop the haters to just, because I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, I that was one of my biggest revelations, that fans in France argue about the Spurs just as much as fans argue about the Spurs and Wemby in San Antonio or the United States. Once again, we're talking with Vincent Pialat with Le Parisien. And what is your X handle, your X name, so people can follow you?
It's my name, Vincent, and Pialat, Pialat.
Yeah, I'll spell that one more time. It's Vincent, Pialat. And we're getting the pulse of the French fan base, French journalist, about Wemby as he finishes his rookie season. Look, I think everybody knows he's going to get the Rookie of the Year. It's obvious. There's no doubting it. But what about the Defensive Player of the Year? Are fans in France upset that it looks like he may not get it?
The tricky thing is the one who's going to get it is French too. Yeah. So
how is that with Rudy Gobert and France? They're both French.
Yeah.
It's like win-win, I guess, for people in France.
Yeah, and we were excited because they're going to be in the French national team for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And everyone say it's going to be scary because with the FIBA rules, you can stay more than 3 seconds in the paint.
And you can knock the ball out of the rim.
Yeah. So imagine how you going to score against these two big towers. It's a big thing. In France, you have fans of Wemby, you have fans of Rudy Gobert, and it's kind of split. You also people saying, with this record, Victor cannot win the Defensive Player of the Year because he lost so much, and the team has taken so much points.
But the numbers show that Wemby's a better defensive player than Rudy Gobert, and which upsets me the most because if you're basing it on that, then he wins. Wemby wins. And for me, it's the numbers when Wemby is not on the court, the defensive numbers. Yeah. When he's not on the court, the Spurs are horrible. When he's on the court, they're one of the best. Yeah. To me, that cinches it. We're done. No. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the thing is, Victor has defensive skill, I think, that no one can beat. But what I've heard the most, and I can agree with that, is Rudy as the defense organized around him. Is leading the defense, while Victor in the Spurs, he just maybe show more his individual skills, but the defense is not only with him. He is a defense, But Rudy has this ability to just play the team defensively around him. That's why people saying no, Rudy deserves the title this year.
Okay, all right. What were your favorite Wemby rookie moments? What were fans in France? What were their favorite Wemby's favorite rookie moments? Were there any ones that everybody still talks about till today?
Hey, when I talk about Monopoly Go, look, I've been told I'm a competitive person. I don't know if you think that's true. I'm not, but those who know me sometimes say, Jeff, you can be a little competitive, maybe a little more of the quiet competitor. But then there comes Monopoly Go. All right, fine. So I have a little bit of a competitive side. All my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on the Monopoly game where you play not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. But the best part, you're playing with your friends. You're having fun with that. You can charge them rent on iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. But now you can also rob their vault of riches for yourself. And the leaderboards show you exactly who is the biggest Monopoly tycoon around this town, when you're playing the game. So it's not just a competitive side that loves it. You can also team up with friends. You can team up with people around the world. You can do time tournaments. You earn huge rewards. Look, Monopoly Go is the one place and one app you got to download right now. Get in the game right now. Go download it. Join your friends. Join a worldwide community that is playing Monopoly Go. Download Monopoly Go right now for free on the App Store or Google Play.
Yeah, there is few. I mean, the block against Shattergren was a huge thing. The dunk, it was in Boston or in San Antonio against Boston? I think it was in Boston, right? You know, like the one, it just jump and
Just destroyed the rim.
Yeah. These two, I mean, for me, that was the most memorable. I really liked the last game against Denver, the third quarter.
Yes.
You know, he scored 3 points, and I mean, that was insane. You're like, oh. And the one against Memphis, when he's, alone under the rim, you have 3 guys coming to him, and they refuse to shoot.
Yeah.
That was so funny. I was laughing out loud.
One of my favorite moments actually had nothing to do with the court or his dunk or anything, was when he threw the ball into the fans.
Yeah.
I know he meant well, to celebrate, and everything. I know he got fined, but to me, that showed me just as much he wants to win when he threw the basketball into the crowd. And you probably noticed this, but when he's done, and especially in wins, when he's going through the tunnel, he doesn't just do the regular high fives with fans. He stops and he turns to them and he engages with them. He starts like bringing them closer to him and high five while his teammates keep on moving in. So, just to see him how he is on the court, off the court, wins and losses, he's an exceptional player. And what I also like about him too is that he never shies away from the media. Exactly. He'll come out in wins and losses. Do French fans appreciate that as well?
Yeah, French fan, I think. I mean, he has a kind of American personality because he's straightforward. He doesn't give any excuse. He's not afraid to show his ambition. And French, we're more reserved, people shy, or so he's more American in that way. But French like his personality because he's so natural and so interesting. And you mentioned the fans and his behavior toward the fan. I mean, that's so funny. Like the last game against Denver, and you mentioned the ball. Yeah. He launched into the crowd, and they have to take back this ball from the kid because the Knicks wanted it. Yeah. What Victor did, he found another ball, and he wrote on the ball, "I hope this one will work as well." And he gave this ball to the kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right? Imagine the tension. I mean, he doesn't have to do that.
Well, and not only that, there were times where he couldn't play, and fans would make the trip to visit him, and he would take a picture with them or get him tickets for the next time he's going to play, and that's really refreshing. I know he has Team France Olympics this summer, and that's huge. That is big. In France, Wemby, the whole thing. So. And we know there might be some little tiredness to start the season next year. What do you expect out of him in his second year?
We used to say like the second year is always more difficult than the first year because you don't have the energy from the beginning. People know you better. And what I expect is very hard to say because for me it's just sets so high expectations. It's crazy to believe that he can do even better, and he might do. So I hope. I mean, for the next year, I hope he will have more wins. Yeah. I mean, collectively, the Spurs has to improve. I have heard that they won't change the roster that much. They will keep with the same team, but they have to build on the end of the season. They start to play very well collectively. And winning a little bit more. Maybe, the barrier of 30 victory a year will be good.
Yeah, the definitely wins has to come. The wins have to come. Yeah. And, there's a part of me that I can see them bringing back most of the team, not making a major change. But I'll tell you this much. Fans in San Antonio are not going to like that. They want to see a major change. Oh, yeah. They want to see a Trae Young come. They want to see a Donovan Mitchell. They want to see a high name come. Or do French fans expect the same thing? Like they want to see a major player next to Wemby, like a Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell? Or are French fans just saying, "Oh, well, we just bring everybody back. We're fine"?
Yeah, French fans, they understand quite well what the Spurs try to do. We have a huge respect for Popovich in France. We have this image of him, it's like a statue or something. You don't
Like
touch.
a president or something.
Yeah. You don't touch. I mean, if he says something, he has some reasons. So yeah, fans in France they just trust the Spurs, and if they say let's take time and let's bring young players and develop them instead of betting on other ones. I mean, they will follow.
Yeah. Interesting too, because in the final game, ahead of the game, I asked Evan Vassell what is his message to the fans. I thought he should have gone longer, but he didn't. He sent me one sentence. He just said, "Spurs are back." So he feels confident that they'll be a better team. And I if they bring the same team in, theoretically they should be better. But they got a lot of picks. They got a lot of money. They got players that they can trade. So we'll see what they do. Once again, he is Vincent Pialat. He is with La Parisien. Make sure to follow him on X. It's just his name. It's Vincent Pialat, all together. So make sure to follow him on X at Vincent_Pialat. It's Pialat. Make sure you do that right now. Your final thoughts on Wemby's rookie season, what you like and what you didn't like.
Let's start by what I didn't like. Of course, the losses. Of course, the beginning of the season we were not, that good. The choices of some shots, especially on 3 points, is sometimes it doesn't pick the right spot to shoot. What I liked, is personality, is freshness. What he shows on the court, the highlights, the way it's always a joy when he plays. Like I'm so excited when I know Wemby is gonna play tonight. I even made an article a few months ago about that because, it's like Stephen Curry or LeBron James, this kind of player. You watch the game only for them, and it's gonna happen something. They're gonna do something that would wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And we watch sport for that too. Yeah, to have this kind of
And you even asked him about his pregame work. You talked to him. You go what do you do that? The pregame stuff and the dunks and everything. And he answered you.
Yeah, because it's so spectacular, and people are coming even before the game to see him because they want to see him warming up. And yeah, it's fun for him to do that, right? Yeah. He likes to play basketball. It's his passion as much as his work. So yeah, even the warm up for him is a game.
Yeah. The way you get excited to watch Wemby, I get excited when you're coming on like that too. Locked On Spurs. Yeah, I get the same way. Once again, he is Vincent Pialat. Follow him on X at Vincent. That sounds _Pialat, Pialat. He's a journalist for La Parisien, and he's my New York City brother. Vincent, thanks again for coming on Locked On Spurs.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me so much. This is always a pleasure.